In the face-to-face assessments behind our benchmark research, 99.5% of perioperative leaders scored at risk or operationally blind. Most of these facilities have already invested millions in sophisticated instrument tracking software, yet they continue to face constant OR delays and missing surgical trays. Traditional tracking software operates entirely in retrospect. It creates a detailed digital record of what happened in the past, logging an error only after the process has already failed. This forces leadership to manage by autopsy. They are left reacting to incident reports and sterilization breakdowns rather than predicting the next bottleneck. These tracking systems document failure with high efficiency, but they do not address the root operational constraints that caused the failure in the first place. Operational blindness is the systemic inability to see what is happening in real time or predict failures before they impact the surgical schedule. Research into surgical instrument errors shows that 80% of mistakes relate specifically to failures in human visualization, the inspection, identification, and assembly of instruments. The friction between the OR and SPD is a workforce development problem, not a technology problem. To eliminate this blindness, hospitals must shift their focus from tracking metal instruments to standardizing and verifying human behavior. The industry currently relies on the HSPA certification, or CRCST, as the foundational entry ticket to the profession. This exam measures a candidate's recall of the national body of knowledge and confirms they have completed the required hands-on hours. Certification is a static achievement. Once the exam is passed, the individual owns that credential permanently. However, a one-time exam score cannot predict whether a technician can execute a complex manufacturer IFU under the pressure of a high-volume shift tonight. Assuming that a certified technician is automatically competent across every local workflow creates dangerous blind spots in department staffing. National certification qualifies a person to enter the field, but it does not verify an operator's ability to do the work in front of them right now. The Sterile by Design Workforce Intelligence Platform, or WIP, picks up where the national exam stops. It introduces verification, the continuous, local measurement of how an operator actually executes standard work on the floor. This system utilizes a 6-tier belt progression to grade execution capability, moving from a foundational white belt to full mastery at black. True competency takes 3 years of structured development, not 3 weeks of checking off an onboarding list. Advancement is determined by testing 3 parameters: knowledge, simulation, and observation. An operator must maintain a minimum score of 80% across all 3 categories to clear a gate. These belts are earned through demonstrated capability, never granted based on tenure or job title. Managers also receive an operator identity profile for each person, detailing how they lead and learn to create a specific development plan. Replacing assumed competency with a verified belt system makes daily department capability predictable and measurable. Certification and verification answer different questions. One settles entry to the profession, the other settles standing on the floor. This comparative matrix illustrates how these 2 metrics work together. On the left, we see a certified technician placing at a yellow belt. They have proven theoretical knowledge, skipping basic onboarding, but haven't demonstrated consistent execution of the actual workflow. Leadership can now see the specific execution gap and target their coaching instead of guessing where the technician needs help. On the right, we have the uncertified technician who places at a higher tier, like a green belt. This operator demonstrates high-level physical execution based on years of experience, even without the national exam. A manager can confidently use their skills today, while the placement provides a data-backed incentive to earn their formal credential. These measurements allow a department to separate theoretical knowledge from physical execution, providing a total picture of operational readiness. Eliminating operational blindness requires this 3-layer architectural stack. Layer 1 is HSPA, setting the national knowledge floor. Layer 2 is the Workforce Intelligence Platform, verifying execution in your department. Layer 3 is the consistent output reaching the OR floor. A gap in the middle layer acts as an early warning system, showing in the data before causing an OR delay. This structure replaces reactive guesswork with a programmable, measurable discipline. Relying on a static exam score from years ago is a vulnerability. Security comes from holding continuous, verified execution data. Buying new tracking software for a broken human execution system will only lead to the faster documentation of failures. Unverified execution creates the conditions for preventable patient harm and drains hospital budgets through OR delays and staff turnover. The hospital that remains blind will continue managing by autopsy. Integrating certification with verified execution produces the data required for predictive governance.